Alright, so let's look at number 3. So on 1 through 3, you're going to decide whether the expression is a monomial or not. So number 3, we have 7x minus negative 2 as our exponent. So it is not a monomial. And you have to remember, we cannot have negative exponents in order for it to be a monomial. So if you look at 1 and 2, and you go back to section 1 and you look at the definition of a monomial, that will give you your solution for 1 and 2. Alright, so let's look at 4 and 5. Indicate which expression is in standard form and give the degree. Then evaluate each expression when x is 2 and y is negative 1. Now, if you don't remember the different degrees, look at that handout I gave you on the different degrees that was in the Wizard of Oz one. So, number 4, we have x2, x to the 4th, y to the 2nd, minus 2x to the 2nd, y to the 3rd, minus x squared, y plus y to the 2nd. Now, this is in standard form. And the reason you know that is because our terms decrease from left to right. And they have the same degree. Alright, so now we know it's in standard form. Now, the second part was figuring out the degree. And you're going to look at your biggest exponent value. And in this case, it's our x, because it's x to the 4th. So we're going to go through and put all of our x's together. Now, you are looking for like terms. So in this case, our like terms are our first two terms, which would be our 2x to the 4th, y to the 2nd, and then 2x squared, y to the 3rd. Now we only need the x's. And we are going to add those together. So we're going to add 4 plus 2 to get a degree of 6. Alright, so that takes care of the second part. Now, for the evaluating, you are going to solve the equation. You are going to replace your x's with 2 and your y's to negative 1, and I'm not going to rewrite that all out. But when you work that all out, you are going to get an answer of 45. So in order to get full credit for 4 and 5, you need to have standard form, yes or no. In this case, it is your degree, and you need to have your final answer. Alright? So once again, number 4, it's in standard form, your degree is 6, and your final answer, whenever you plug all that information in, is 45. Alright, on 6 through 15, you're going to simplify and write in standard form. So we are going to look at number 7. And this thing's not focusing. Okay, hang on. Alright, number 7. We have, inside our first set of parentheses, negative 4 m to the 3rd minus 8 plus 4m, then minus sign. Then in our second set, we have 7m plus 9 plus 2m to the 3rd. Now we are going to flip this around, and we are going to line up like terms. Alright, so I'm not going to do anything with our first set of parentheses, but flip it around. So it's going to be negative 4m to the 3rd minus 8 plus 4m. Now we're going to bring our minus sign down. This is a subtraction problem. Now I am going to put my second set out of order, so that way we can have our like terms together to make it 10 times easier to solve it. So my 4m to the 3rd goes with 2m to the 3rd. You keep the sign that's in the problem. So if 8, we're going to make positive 9 next because it's positive in our regular problem. And then 4m is going to go with 7m, and 7m is negative, so we bring that subtraction sign with it. Okay, now we have an equation we can solve. Sorry, I'm having trouble focusing. So, this minus sign is going to go with each term. So we have negative 4m to the third minus 2m to the third, and when you subtract that, you get negative 6m to the third. Now, this one reads as negative 8 minus 9. And our 9 is positive. So when you do that, you get negative 17. And then we do the same thing here. Positive 4 minus negative 7. When you do that, you get negative 11. Drop your variable. Now, we are not in standard form, so we're going to flip it around so we get it in standard form. Alright, so this goes in order of our exponents. Now remember, even though you don't see anything here, there is a 1. You can write that in. If you choose, it will not be wrong. So, our 3 is still our biggest exponent. So it's going to be negative 6m to the third minus, you take the sign with it, 11m minus 17. Now you're in standard form, you're good to go. You go on to the next one. Okay, we're still in the same section, going to number 9. So on 9, we have 24, r to the third, s to the 7th, t to the third. Now this line just means division. So it's 39, r to the 4th, s to the 7th, and then regular old t. So now, we're going to find our GCF, find the GCF, or greatest common factor, of 24 and 39. And our GCF is going to be 3. Okay, now we have that taken care of. So now we are going to divide both 24 by 3 and 39 by 3. And 24 divided by 3 is 8. 39 divided by 3 is 13. So we have our first two terms taken care of. So now we have to do our exponents. So you have to remember your exponent rules. And for division, we are going to subtract our exponents. So we're going to put those together. We're going to do R4, R3, S7, S7, T3, and T. And remember, this T is actually a 1. So it's going to be R to the first, and then S to the 0, and then T to the 1. So our S, we're not going to rewrite. We don't need to. So now we're going to drop it in an order. So it's going to be 8 over 13. Now we're going to put the variable with the biggest value in our original problem. So if we look up at the top, our T, the biggest value was with our top one. So we're going to put our T there. And our R was with the bottom. So we're going to put our R there. Now you can absolutely write the 1s there. It won't be wrong. You don't have to. So there's number 9. Alright, so now we're going to jump down to number 11. So number 11, we have negative 5x squared, and then inside parentheses, 3x squared plus y. We are going to distribute our negative 5x squared to each term inside the parentheses. And you're going to end up with negative 5x squared times negative 3x squared. And I just put mine in parentheses just to set off that negative. Same thing again, negative 5x squared times y. Then you're just going to multiply. So negative 5 times 3 is 15. And our x, and remember, since we're multiplying, we are going to add our exponents to get 4. Now we do the bottom, and we're just going to drop everything in. So it's going to be negative 5x squared y. We're just going to combine them. So we're going to go ahead and put our problems together. So it's going to be 15x to the 4th minus 5x squared y. And we are done with that one. Alright, I'm still in that third section. We're going to jump to number 14. So we have 2a plus 4b. First set of parentheses. Second set, a minus 3b. Now this one is going to use FOIL. So we're going to go ahead and write that out. And don't be afraid to write it out, because you guys did so much better when we wrote everything out. So for f is first, so it's going to be our first term, so 2a times a. Outer is going to be 2a times, and you're going to take this negative with it, negative 3b. And now just put it in parentheses just to set off that negative. Inner is going to be 4b times a. Last is going to be 4b times negative 3b. Once again, you're going to bring that negative, and I just use parentheses just to set off that negative. Alright, so now we're going to multiply each one. So our first is going to be 2a, and since there's 2, squared. Negative 3 times 2 is negative 6ab. Inner, we're going to multiply 4 and AB. I just put them in alphabetical order because it's the way it is in the problem, and I like to do it that way. And then we're going to multiply the bottom, so it's going to be negative 12b, and since there's 2, squared. So we're going to combine like terms, and we do have them in this one. And our like terms are negative 6ab and 4ab. Now we're going to make this addition because the second one is addition. So when we add those, we get negative 2ab. So now we have our like terms. So our terms we're dealing with is 2a squared, negative 2ab, and negative 12b to the second. So we are going to smush those together now. So it's going to be, our final answer is going to be 2a to the second minus 2ab minus 12b squared. And we are done.